Did we need that win last night? Oh, did we need that game last night? But you know what? I'm not satisfied. Nope, not satisfied. Nope. We needed that win last night because we've been up and down with our play in the last few weeks, starting off the season the way we did, and now we were 7-6. Now, fortunately, 8-6 after last night's game against the Pacers. But more importantly, the reason why I'm saying I'm not satisfied is because the next few games we have are home. We need to win those games. I'm tired of us losing these home games. We need to take advantage of the Garden. I see in the promo video at the Garden before the game starts, defend the Garden. Well, it's time to win at the Garden to defend the Garden. Not all at once, because that's not a marketable catchphrase, but you know what I'm trying to say. Immanuel Quickley's back, doing what he does. All things are pointing in the right direction for us coming out of that game. Unfortunately, Mitch Robinson out with another injury. We do not know how long that's going to be as of right now, but a lot of things are coming around. But a lot of good came from last night's game, but will we continue to go in that direction? What are those good things I'm talking about? We'll get into that right now, but first, run the intro. What's going on, CK Crew? It's your boy CK2K, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the other channels, all are in the description below, and join the Discord. You know the vibes. Now, the Knicks, right? They've been very frustrating to watch, okay? Last night, we finally saw the defense come up a little bit. I mean, we held them to shooting, 22% from three, but we did not shoot too shabby ourselves from the three-point line. Again, guesstimating, I think it might have been higher than 2. It was bad. It was really bad from three for them. The way I call it, it was a game that's bigger than the game, if that makes sense, because we were coming into this game where Barrett has been slumping a bit. Julius Randle has been slumping. You know, Evan Fournier been up and down with his shot. It's been a narrative where the bench is carrying this team. A narrative where Tom Thibodeau hasn't really been meshing his roster too well. It's either one platoon or the other platoon playing. A lot of narratives and a lot of conversations that were going into this game last night against the Pacers, and it felt like the majority of them have been answered for us, or the majority of them have been addressed for us. And starting off with the number one thing in Immanuel Quickley, who has been playing really well for the past few games, and last night was definitely the coming out party. Now, I'm on record and I'm not gonna apologize about it. I said that I felt like in instances where Immanuel Quickley is coming out slow and he's not playing well, I wanted to see him benched in that game for Quentin Grimes. I don't back off on that statement. I think that's the case for anybody. I think because I've been saying over and over again, in a team where you have depth, if someone is not producing in that game, you go to the next man up in that game. That does not mean that that person steals your minutes long term. I'm not gonna have a player lose their minutes because they have one bad game. No, but in a game, if you're not finding your shot, you're not playing that well, you lose the minutes. We saw that happen with Barrett, and that's just the way it should be when you have the depth that we have. But fortunately, Immanuel Quickley has come out of his slumber, and he's been playing well for us the last few games, but particularly last night being the only one that was consistent from the three-point line, shooting 100%, 4 for 4 from three, as well as providing a big boost for us on the rebounds and giving us some second chance opportunities in a game where we needed to rebound by committee. We say it all the time when we are missing the majority of our bigs, with Nerlens Noel being out, Mitchell Robinson eventually going out, and just having Taj Gibson, we got to rebound by committee. Barrett has been a great rebounder for us this season, averaging a little bit over 5 boards. Like I just mentioned, Immanuel Quickley was helping there. Julius Randle did his part rebounding. Taj Gibson did his part rebounding, but we need everybody that is on the court to be ready for those rebounds. But before we get into any of that, we have to talk about the great usage of our point guards, Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose. Kemba Walker was great for us last night. Kemba Walker in 20 minutes gave us 16 points off of a great shooting night, 8 for 11. Yes, I know the plus minus says he's with a negative 15, but that was more so because he was playing with that starting unit, which again had a rough time and a rough outing altogether to start off this game and to start off that third quarter. Like I mentioned, where Kemba Walker gives you that start, Derrick Rose provided the finish, and he had 14 points in his 25 minutes, but also added on 5 boards and 7 assists, making him a plus 21, which was the second most on on the team next to Taj Gibson. 2 ex-Bulls, the 2 old guys on this team, played phenomenally for us and had a big impact for the overall of this team. But the combination of starting off with Kemba Walker, especially without how hot he was and literally keeping us in that game while the rest of the starters were not able to find the shot. Julius Randle was struggling, RJ Barrett struggling in that first half. We needed Kemba Walker, and then once he came out, Derrick Rose was the one that carried us on to victory. And that is going to be a part of another point I'm going to make, and that is with meshing our rotations and not just having platoon after platoon, but meshing our guys with the people that make sense. But we'll talk about that in a second. As I mentioned, Immanuel Quickley provided a great spark off the bench. Obi Toppin, once again, only playing 16 minutes in a game where I feel like he could have played a lot more, especially with Mitchell Robinson going out. We did get to see Obi Toppin and Julius Randle play that, that small ball rotation, but it felt like it was just wrong time with that because Miles Turner was out there, and I feel like they took advantage of us. I don't think that was a good sample size of them working together because I feel like that just wasn't the right rotation. But positive is I do believe that in games to come, this means that we will see them out there together a little bit more frequently. At least that's what I'm hoping. But like I mentioned with RJ Barrett, though he was not great for us offensively in that game, defensively was where he was very, very key for us in this game. And it was good to see him finally find his shot. 3 for 7 from the 3-point line was a good start. 4 for 13 from the field, again off the dome. RJ Barrett had himself a solid game, and this is a positive because hopefully this is what he needed to now go on and get back to where he was to start off the season, to get back on track for him offensively. So with all that being said and talking about individual play, this, that, and the third, the big thing for me, the big thing I've been asking for this entire time was using our depth. A team like this where we have literally the best bench in the NBA, so much so where our bench is the best lineup in the NBA. You do not believe me? Look it up. The best 5-man lineup in the NBA by a huge margin is a lineup of Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, Immanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, and Taj Gibson. Best lineup in the NBA. Look it up. So my problem with this is what I hate is that when the starters are not playing well and the bench brings us back in the game, and then we decide to then take everyone off the bench and put the starters back in when Derrick Rose is playing well for us, Immanuel Quickley is playing well for us, Obi Toppin's playing well for us, and RJ Barrett's not having the best night, Julius Randle's not having the best night, Kemba Walker's not having the best night, Evan Fournier's not having the best night. Instead of just living and dying by the starting 5, you close with the guys that are playing the best. So you close with the lineup that makes the most sense, and sometimes that might mean some of the starters, but also some of the players that are hot and playing well from that second unit. And we did that perfectly last night. We saw Derrick Rose, we saw Immanuel Quickley, and we saw Taj Gibson eventually get back out there playing next to RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. That's what you have to do in situations like that. And that's nothing against Kemba Walker, because like I said, he played well for us, but to close out the game, Derrick Rose was doing so much for us, and Immanuel Quickley was doing so much for us. You could not take them out of the game, and you leave in the guard situation of those two to play next to RJ Barrett. And you saw that it led to more shots for RJ Barrett. It led to RJ Barrett's confidence going up, and you saw his shot was all of a sudden found again, you know what I mean? From a very key corner 3 and an even more key elbow 3 at the top. Those were big shots that were made by RJ Barrett, and I felt like it all had to do with the energy that was coming from Immanuel Quickley and Derrick Rose. Immanuel Quickley had a great game last night in only 23 minutes and had 16 points. Imagine a bigger sample size. Another fun stat, Immanuel Quickley is number 1 in the NBA at scoring in a one-on-one setting. Number 1 in the league. Again, look it up. Hopefully I can find these stats. I can put them right next to me while I'm making these exclamations. Point of the matter is the Knicks right now are seeming to understand and find their gel, and they're seeming to understand and finding their chemistry and finding that mojo of being able to play with each other. And Tom Thibodeau, though it was kind of forced into doing it, is understanding that it is okay to mesh these lineups to close out the game, and you can get the best result. This is all we've been asking for. This is all I've been asking for. I still feel like, in certain situations, we might be able to close with Obi Toppin and Julius Randle. Last night was definitely Taj Gibson's night, and I'm glad that we gave him that quick break in the fourth quarter so he could close out the game last night. So also, too, you couldn't tell me that Taj Gibson in 2021 would be a plus 22 and play 29 minutes in an NBA basketball game. You could not have told me this. But right now, we're finding out these things. We might have to grow. We might have to keep playing without Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson in the coming games. That is another video for a future date. Mitchell Robinson, what do we do with him? I'll keep that for another conversation, but I'll let you guys talk about that in the comment section below. But now we have a game this coming Wednesday against the Orlando Magic, a team that got the best of us the last time we played them. We have to be prepared. A lot of questions, a lot of things that I feel like we've slowly been answering, but will the Knicks utilize all these scenarios going into the next game? That's what I got my eye on. What do you guys think about everything I was mentioning in this video? Do you guys think that the Knicks have finally figured out how to use their roster right now? Or do you think that Tibbs was forced into it and we shouldn't get used to seeing Tom Thibodeau mix matching the rotations from the starters to the bench like we did perfectly in that Indiana Pacers game? The adjustments were great, but what were your guys' thoughts about that? Do you think it'll happen? Do you think it was forced? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the other channels in the description below, and do not forget to join the Discord where the conversations continue. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's get it. On to the next game against the Orlando Magic. I don't think I forgot what y'all did. Cole Anthony, don't think I forgot what you did to us too. We need this next one. All right, see you guys next one. I'm out of here.
Cold pizza Tuesday. I got food up in the fridge. Y'all keep looking for that new way. I think I like it how it is.